What if I told you that every single second of your day holds the potential to transform your life? It's true. Time is the one resource that's given equally to everyone, yet so many of us squander it without even realizing. I used to be the same. I'd let hours slip away scrolling through my phone, procrastinating, or simply doing things that didn't matter. But then I discovered Stoic philosophy, and it completely changed how I viewed time. The Stoics believe that time is the most precious gift we have, and once it's gone forever. This realization hit me hard. I started asking myself, what am I doing with my time? The answer wasn't pretty, but it gave me the clarity I needed to make a change. In this video, I'll share how I stopped wasting time and built a life that feels intentional, productive, and meaningful, all through the lens of Stoic wisdom. We'll cover practical strategies and personal lessons from my journey, broken down into 5 key steps. Whether you're struggling with distractions, overwhelmed by commitments, or just unsure where to start, I promise you'll find something valuable here. Let's get started. 1. Mastering the mind. The Stoic art of prioritization. One of the first things I realized was that I wasn't just wasting time, I was wasting focus. The truth is, you can't manage your time until you manage your mind. Epictetus famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote became my mantra. I started to see that my lack of productivity wasn't because I didn't have enough time, but because I wasn't clear on what truly mattered. I began by reflecting on my values. What did I really want to achieve? What was most important to me? I wrote down everything I spent time on: work, hobbies, social media, even idle daydreaming. Then I asked myself, does this align with my goals? To my surprise, a lot of my daily activities didn't. That realization was both humbling and empowering. The next step was prioritization. Instead of trying to do everything, I focused on the few things that mattered most. Every morning I wrote down my top 3 priorities for the day. These weren't just tasks, they were actions that aligned with my long-term goals. For example, instead of aimlessly responding to emails, I'd schedule focused time to work on a key project. This shift wasn't easy at first. My mind wanted to jump from one thing to another, but the more I practiced, the easier it became. Over time, I started to feel a sense of purpose and clarity that I'd never experienced before. By mastering my mind and learning to prioritize, I took the first step toward reclaiming my time. 2. Silencing the noise. Overcoming distractions through discipline. Distractions are everywhere. We live in a world where everything, from social media to endless notifications, is designed to pull our attention in 100 different directions. For me, this was one of the biggest challenges. I'd sit down to work on something important, only to get sidetracked by a text, a YouTube video, or even just my own wandering thoughts. It felt like my brain was constantly at war with itself. The Stoics understood this struggle. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You must block off many things to establish your mind in tranquility." This resonated with me deeply. I realized that if I wanted to be productive, I needed to create an environment that supported focus. I started by turning off notifications on my phone and computer. At first it felt strange, like I was missing out on something. But as the days went by, I noticed how much calmer and more focused I felt. I also set specific times to check my emails and social media, instead of letting them interrupt my day whenever they wanted. But discipline isn't just about removing distractions. It's about replacing them with intentional actions. Instead of mindlessly scrolling during breaks, I began using that time to reflect, stretch, or even just breathe deeply. These small changes made a huge difference. The hardest part was breaking the habit of multitasking. I had gotten so used to juggling multiple things at once that it felt productive, even though it wasn't. The Stoics taught me to give my full attention to one thing at a time. By focusing on the task at hand, I not only became more efficient, but also found a deeper sense of satisfaction in my work. 3. Simplicity is power. The Stoic principle of essentialism. One of the most liberating lessons I learned from Stoicism is the power of simplicity. The Stoics believed that a simple life is a happy life, and I couldn't agree more. When I looked at my daily routine, I realized it was cluttered, not just with physical things, but with mental and emotional baggage. I was trying to do too much, and as a result, I wasn't doing anything well. The first thing I did was declutter my workspace. I got rid of everything that didn't serve a purpose: old papers, unnecessary gadgets, even apps on my phone. It was incredible how much lighter I felt with a clean, organized space. Next, I simplified my to-do list. Instead of writing down every little task, I focused on what I call the essential three. These are the three most important things I need to accomplish each day. This approach not only made my days more manageable, but also ensured that I was spending my time on what truly mattered. But simplicity isn't just about doing less, it's about doing better. I started practicing deep work, dedicating blocks of time to focus solely on one task without interruptions. For example, I'd spend an hour writing or brainstorming without checking my phone or switching tabs. This level of focus was challenging at first, but it became one of the most rewarding habits I've ever developed. Simplicity gave me clarity, and clarity gave me power. By embracing the Stoic principle of essentialism, I was able to strip away the noise and focus on what really mattered. 4. Time as a gift, living each moment with intention. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." This quote shook me to my core. How many moments had I wasted without even realizing it? The more I thought about it, the more I understood that time isn't something we can manage. It's something we must honor. To live intentionally, I started by transforming my mornings. Instead of rushing out of bed and diving into the chaos of the day, I created a simple morning ritual. I'd spend a few minutes meditating, reflecting on my goals, and expressing gratitude for the day ahead. This small practice set a calm, focused tone for everything that followed. I also began viewing each day as a gift. Before starting any task, I'd ask myself, is this how I want to spend my time? This question became my guiding light. It helped me say no to things that didn't align with my values, like unnecessary meetings or social obligations, and yes to things that brought me joy and purpose. One of the most profound changes was learning to enjoy the present moment. Instead of always thinking about what's next, I started appreciating what was right in front of me, whether it was a quiet cup of coffee, a meaningful conversation, or simply the feeling of the sun on my face. Living with intention turned every day into an opportunity to grow and savor life. 5. Turning setbacks into stepping stones. Resilience in time management. Life is unpredictable. No matter how well you plan, obstacles will arise. In the past, these setbacks would throw me off course and leave me feeling defeated. But Stoicism taught me a powerful lesson. Setbacks aren't failures, they're opportunities for growth. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This means preparing for challenges before they happen. I started applying this by asking myself, what could go wrong today? For example, if I had a big project due, I'd think about potential interruptions or delays and plan how to handle them. This mindset didn't make problems disappear, but it did make them less overwhelming. When setbacks did occur, I focused on what I could control. Instead of dwelling on the problem, I looked for solutions. For instance, if I missed a deadline, I'd immediately reschedule and adjust my plan to avoid making the same mistake again. This proactive approach kept me moving forward, even in the face of adversity. The most important thing I learned was to prioritize consistency over perfection. Some days didn't go as planned, and that was okay. What mattered was showing up and making progress, no matter how small. By embracing resilience, I turned obstacles into stepping stones on my journey to better time management. Through Stoic philosophy, I've learned that time is more than just a resource. It's a reflection of how we choose to live. By mastering my mind, eliminating distractions, simplifying my life, living with intention, and embracing resilience, I've not only become more productive but also more fulfilled. Now I want to challenge you. What's one small change you can make today to reclaim your time? Remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about taking consistent steps toward the life you want. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this video helpful, share it with someone who might need it. Together, let's build lives that honor the gift of time